Oh well.
That's where I am. All right.
Cheers are good. Cheers are good.
I think that's allowed in this place, isn't it? That's kind of allowed.
I think it's encouraged.
Yeah. I would encourage you to stay and melt down with us.
Oh. I promise you, if I leave, I'll be praying. All right, so we'll do the first 50 till our brother gets here. That's what we plan to do. Like lesson 135.
I'll be home in just a couple of minutes.
All right, sweet. No worries. No worries. So good to see you again, Barry.
Yeah, and you all too. Yeah. There's a lot of things trying to keep me out of this meeting. Yeah. But I'm here,
brother.
right?
I feel you, brother.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a mad week. Yeah. Chemo stuff, it literally affects your mind as well, it affects you physically, affects you psychologically, and yeah, I'm coming out of it.
Yeah. Well, I'm happy you're here. No place better to be than Satsang,
Oh, yeah, thank you for that.
Appreciate that. Can't be in a better place.
Well, probably not, Laurie. You're right there. I do get that. Yeah, right here with us, and to some extent, I don't mean this rudely at all, but we don't need Dave either, right? Because I think everyone here is here for the same purpose and the same origin.
Holy
so I don't mean that.
Totally in charge. Yeah.
Absolutely. So, yeah. So,
we're always taken care of. Does not matter. Whoever's here should be here.
Yeah, and we wouldn't be here without that either, would we? So.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you for that reminder. Thank you for that reminder. So I tell you what. Sorry.
I was just going to say, I really believe there's a big wave coming through, because I've had some stuff happen and I've been on the verge of meltdown myself. And I think it's just all the process that we need to be going through, and we just need to let it happen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's only the activity of God, so it must be good, yeah?
Right.
It must be love. Oh, isn't that a song?
Yeah. I think so.
Should be, if it's not.
If it wasn't, it should be.
It must be love, yeah. So let's all take a moment. That was really beautiful. Let's just all take a moment and just join, with spirit, with the one mind. right, thank you guys. The sister is here now. Hello, sister.
Hi, sorry, I've just literally walked through the door.
No, lovely to see you. Perfect timing. Let's take an additional second to breathe with our sister, all right? And then join the room. I think our sister Anna is also making her way in, so we'll just take another minute or two. Just a minute. All right, so the places and the space is prepared, yeah? I prepared a place for you. I'll start, I'll read a couple and then I'll pass it off.
Can I say something, Tina?
I wish you would.
Yeah, so as some people know, because I haven't seen Anthea for a while, and Anthea and I had quite a connection. She's in the UK, and hey, Anthea, hi. I did make it last week, and as you know, I've been absent. My apologies for my absence, and but yeah, I've kind of missed it as well, and I so kind of get what these rooms are about. And I feel quite sort of moved that I'm with. You said about sisters there, Tina. So here I am with my sisters, right? So
Yes,
one brother
indeed.
and here's some sisters.
All we
Good
need
to
is
see you.
one. You hold it down for all the brothers and all the sisters. Just,
So good to
thank
see you. So good to see you all. And Anthea, good to see you. And so something for me, this last like really number of weeks, going through some of the stuff that I've been going through, and of course we all go through stuff, but it's that key thing which is around acceptance, you know, and that place of absolute acceptance. That's when the love kind of falls into place, and suddenly there is a kind of completeness, and that's been kind of happening for me in the midst of all the kind of like flipping hard stuff and the pain and God knows what else going on. I don't want to drag that story out, but yeah, that sort of completeness comes out of just accept it, just letting it be, letting it run, letting it be. It's okay. It's just kind of like God-given, if you like. And literally in that sort of millisecond of seeing that is such a joyous kind of real live freedom. And I've been kind of like sensing that and touching that on and off for weeks, you know. I just wanted to say that. I think it's so important we just accept.
I appreciate that.
That's where the freedom sits, you know. Something I've been learning. So, yeah.
Thank you. I was gonna read, but you know what? I feel to ask you to start. Would you?
To me?
Yeah, would you?
To read?
Yeah, we're doing, we do the first 50 review. You've been with us when we do this. You ready?
Yeah. Sure. I just need to, how do I just need to, I'm in a kind of full screen. Just a second, bear with me. Okay. Got some miracles. Okay, so it starts on 50, is that right?
51.
51.
51. Sorry, excuse me. I'm behind on this stuff.
No worries.
Okay, I've got it.
I'll be passing the mic to you, Anthea, too, by the way. So here, you go ahead and take over.
Okay, so I just read number 1, or I read through the whole lesson 51?
Would you do a couple? And then I'm going to pass this to Anthea, and then Anthea, you take over. Would you read a couple? I just felt moved by what you just said to just ask you to start. Thank you.
Okay, number 1. Nothing I see means anything. The reason this is so is that I see nothing, and nothing has no meaning. It's necessary I recognize this, that I may learn to see. What I think I see now is taking the place of vision. I must let it go by realizing it has no meaning, so that vision may take its place. I have given what I see all the meaning it has for me. I have judged everything I look upon, and it is thus and only this I see. It is this and only this I see. This is not vision, it's merely an illusion of reality, because my judgments have been made quite apart from reality. I'm willing to recognize the lack of validity in my judgments because I want to see. My judgments have hurt me, and I do not want to see according to them.
Thank you, Barry. I do not understand anything I see. How could I understand what I see when I have judged it amiss? What I see is the projection of my own errors of thought. I do not understand what I see because it is not understandable. There is no sense in trying to understand it, but there is every reason to let it go and make room for what can be seen and understood and loved. I can exchange what I see now for this merely by being willing to do so. Is not this a better choice than the one I made before? These thoughts do not mean anything. The thoughts of which I am aware do not mean anything because I am trying to think without God. What I call my thoughts are not my real thoughts. My real thoughts are the thoughts I think with God. I am not aware of them because I have made my thoughts to take their place. I am willing to recognize that my thoughts do not mean anything and to let them go. I choose to have them be replaced by what they were intended to replace. My thoughts are meaningless, but all creation lies in the thoughts I think with God. I am never upset for the reason I think. I am never upset for the reason I think because I am constantly trying to justify my thoughts. I am constantly trying to make them true. I make all things my enemies, so that my anger is justified and my attacks are warranted. I have not realized how much I have misused everything I see by assigning this role to it. I have done this to defend a thought system that has hurt me and that I no longer want. I am willing to let it go. Laurie?
I'm upset because I see what is not there. Reality is never frightening. It is impossible that it could upset me. Reality brings only perfect peace. When I am upset, it is always because I have replaced reality with illusions I made up. The illusions are upsetting because I have given them reality and thus regard reality as an illusion. Nothing in God's creation is affected in any way by this confusion of mind. I am always upset by nothing. I see only the past. As I look about, I condemn the world I look upon. I call this seeing. I hold the past against everyone and everything, making them my enemies. When I have forgiven myself and remembered who I am, I will bless everyone and everything I see. There will be no past and therefore no enemies. and I will look with love on all that I failed to see before. My mind is preoccupied with past thoughts. I see only my own thoughts, and my mind is preoccupied with the past. What then can I see as it is? Let me remember that I look on the past to prevent the present from dawning on my mind. Let me understand that I am trying to use time against God. Let me learn to give the past away, realizing that in so doing, I am giving up nothing. I see nothing as it is now. If I see nothing as it is now, it can truly be said that I see nothing. I can see only what is now. The choice is not whether to see the past or the present. The choice is merely whether I see or not. What I have chosen to see has cost me vision. Now I would choose again that I may see.
Thank you, Laurie. Tina.
My thoughts do not mean anything. I have no private thoughts. Yet it is only private thoughts of which I am aware. What can these thoughts mean? They do not exist, and so they mean nothing. Yet my mind is part of creation, part of its creator. Would I not rather join the thinking of the universe than to obscure all that is really mine with my pitiful and meaningless private thoughts? My meaningless thoughts are showing me a meaningless world. Since the thoughts of which I am aware do not mean anything, the world that pictures them can have no meaning. What is producing this world is insane, and so is what it produces. Reality is not insane. And I have real thoughts as well as insane ones. I can therefore see a real world if I look to my real thoughts as my guide for seeing. I am upset because I see a meaningless world. Insane thoughts are upsetting. They produce a world in which there is no order anywhere. Only chaos rules a world that represents chaotic thinking, and chaos has no laws. I cannot live in peace in such a world. Oh, oh. I am grateful that this world is not real and that I need not see it at all unless I choose to value it. And I do not choose to value what is totally insane and has no meaning.
Thank you, Anna.
A meaningless world engenders fear. The totally insane engenders fear. Because the totally insane engenders fear because it is completely undependable and offers no grounds for trust. Nothing in madness is dependable. It holds out no safety and no hope. But such a world is not real. I have given it the illusion of reality and have suffered from my belief in it. Now I choose to withdraw this belief and place my trust in reality. Now I choose to withdraw this belief and place my trust in reality. In choosing, I will escape all the effects of the world of fear because I am acknowledging that it does not exist. God did not create a meaningless world. How can a meaningless world exist if God did not create it? He is the source of all meaning, and everything that is real is in his mind. It is in my mind too, because he created it with me. Why should I continue to suffer from the effects of my own insane thoughts when the perfection of creation is my home? Let me remember the power of my decision and recognize where I really abide. My thoughts are images that I have made. Whatever I see reflects my thoughts. It is my thoughts that tell me where I am and what I am. The fact that I see a world in which there is suffering and loss and death shows me that I am seeing only the representation of my insane thoughts, and am not allowing my real thoughts to cast their beneficent light on what I see. Yet God's way is sure. The images I have made cannot prevail against him because it is not my will they do so. My will is his, and I will place no other gods before him. I have no neutral thoughts. Neutral thoughts are impossible because all thoughts have power. They will either make a false world or lead me to the real one. But thoughts cannot be without effects. As the world I see arises from my thinking errors, so will the real world rise before my eyes as I let my errors be corrected. My thoughts cannot be neither true nor false. They must be one or the other. What I see shows me which they are. I see no neutral things. What I see witnesses to what I think. If I did not think, I would not exist because life is thought. Let me look on the world I see as the representation of my own state of mind. I know that my state of mind can change. And so I also know the world I see can change as well.
Thank you, Barry.
Yeah. I'm not alone in experiencing the effects of my seeing. If I have no private thoughts, I cannot see a private world. Even the mad idea of separation had to be shared before it could form the basis of the world I see. Yet that sharing was a sharing of nothing. I can also call upon my real thoughts, which share everything with everyone. As my thoughts of separation call to the separation thoughts of others, so my real thoughts awaken the real thoughts in them. And the world my real thoughts show me will dawn on their sight as well as mine. I'm not alone in experiencing the effects of my thoughts. I'm alone in nothing. Everything I think or say or do teaches all the universe. A son of God cannot think or speak or act in vain. He cannot be alone in anything. It is therefore in my power to change every mind along with mine, for mine is the power of God. I am determined to see. Recognizing the shared nature of my thoughts, I'm determined to see. I would look upon the witnesses that show me the thinking of the world has been changed. I would look upon the witnesses that show me the thinking of the world has been changed. I would behold the proof that what has been done through me has enabled love to replace fear, laughter to replace tears, and abundance to replace loss. I would look upon the real world and let it teach me that my will and the will of God are one. I'm determined to see things differently. What I see now are but signs of disease, disaster, and death. This cannot be what God created for his beloved Son. The very fact I see such things is proof that I do not understand God. Therefore, I also do not understand his Son. What I see tells me that I do not know who I am. I'm determined to see the witnesses to the truth in me, rather than those which show me an illusion of myself.
Can you do one more, Barry?
What I see is a form of vengeance. The world I see is hardly the representation of loving thoughts. It's a picture of attack on everything by everything. It's anything but a reflection of the love of God and the love of his Son. It's my own attack thoughts that give rise to this picture. My loving thoughts will save me from this perception of the world and give me the peace God intended me to have.
Thank you. Laurie?
I can escape from this world by giving up attack thoughts. Herein lies salvation and nowhere else. Without attack thoughts, I could not see a world of attack. As forgiveness allows love to return to my awareness, I will see a world of peace and safety and joy. And it is this I choose to see in place of what I look on now. I do not perceive my own best interests. How could I recognize my own best interests when I do not know who I am? What I think are my best interests would merely bind me closer to the world of illusions. I am willing to follow the guide God has given me to find out what my own best interests are, recognizing that I cannot perceive them by myself. I do not know what anything is for. To me, the purpose of everything is to prove that my illusions about myself are real. It is for this purpose that I attempt to use everyone and everything. It is for this that I believe the world is for. Therefore, I do not recognize its real purpose. The purpose I have given the world has led to a frightening picture of it. Let me open my mind to the world's real purpose by withdrawing the one I have given it and learning the truth about it.
Thank you. My attack thoughts are attacking my invulnerability. How can I know who I am when I see myself as under constant attack? How can I know who I am when I see myself as under constant attack? Pain, illness, loss, age, and death seem to threaten me. All my hopes and wishes and plans appear to be at the mercy of a world I cannot control. Yet perfect security and complete fulfillment are my inheritance. I have tried to give my inheritance away in exchange for the world I see, but God has kept my inheritance safe for me. My own real thoughts will teach me what it is. Above all else, I want to see, recognizing that what I see reflects what I think I am. I realize that vision is my greatest need. The world I see attests to the fearful nature of the self-image I have made. If I would remember who I am, it is essential that I let this image of myself go. As it is replaced by truth, vision will surely be given me. And with this vision, I will look upon the world and on myself with charity and love. Above all else, I want to see differently. The world I see holds my fearful self-image in place and guarantees its continuance. While I see the world as I see it now, truth cannot enter my awareness. I would let the door behind this world be opened for me, that I may look past it to the world that reflects the love of God. Tina.
God is in everything I see. Behind every image I have made, the truth remains unchanged. Behind every veil I have drawn across the face of love, its light remains undimmed. Beyond all my insane wishes is my will, united with the will of my Father. God is still everywhere. And in everything, forever. And we who are a part of him will yet look past all appearances and recognize the truth beyond them all. God is in everything I see because God is in my mind. In my own mind, in my own mind, behind all my insane thoughts of separation and attack is the knowledge that all is one forever. I have not lost the knowledge of who I am because I have forgotten it. It has been kept for me in the mind of God, who has not left his thoughts. And I, who am among them, am one with them and one with him. I am not the victim of the world I see. How can I be the victim of the world? No. How can I be the victim of a world that can be completely undone if I so choose? My chains are loosened. I can drop them off merely by desiring to do so. The prison door is open. I can leave simply by walking out. Nothing holds me in this world. Only my wish to stay keeps me a prisoner. I would give up my insane wishes and walk into the sunlight at last. I'll do one more. I have invented the world I see. I made up the prison in which I see myself. All I need do is recognize this, and I am free. I have deluded myself into believing it is possible to imprison the Son of God. I was bitterly mistaken in this belief, which I no longer want. The Son of God must be forever free. He is as God created him and not what I would make of him. He is where God would have him be and not where I thought to hold him prisoner.
Thank you, Tina. Barry.
There is another way of looking at the world. Since the purpose of the world is not the one I ascribe to it, there must be another way of looking at it. I see everything upside down and my thoughts are the opposite of truth. I see the world as a prison for God's Son. It must be then that the world is really a place where he can be set free. I would look upon the world as it is and see it as a place where the Son of God finds his freedom. Where the Son of God finds his freedom. I could see peace instead of this. When I see the world as a place of freedom, I realize that it reflects the laws of God instead of the rules I made up for it to obey. I will understand that peace, not war, abides in it, and I will perceive that peace also abides in the hearts of all who share this place with me. My mind is part of God's. I am very holy. As I share the peace of the world with my brothers, I begin to understand that this peace comes from deep within myself. The world I look upon has taken on the light of my forgiveness and shines forgiveness back at me. In this light, I begin to see what my illusions about myself kept hidden. I begin to understand the holiness of all living things, including myself, and their oneness with me. My holiness envelops everything I see. From my holiness does the perception of the real world come. Having forgiven, I no longer see myself as guilty. I can accept the innocence that is the truth about me. Seen through understanding eyes, the holiness of the world is all I see, for I can picture only the thoughts I hold about myself. My holiness blesses the world. The perception of my holiness does not bless me alone. Everyone and everything I see in its light shares in the joy it brings to me. There is nothing that is apart from this joy, because there's nothing that does not share my holiness. As I recognize my holiness, so does the holiness of the world shine forth for everyone to see.
Thank you. Do you want to do another one, Barry?
I'll do one more, if you like.
Hey.
There is nothing my holiness cannot do. My holiness is unlimited in its power to heal, because it's unlimited in its power to save. What is there to be saved from except illusions? And what are all illusions except false ideas about myself? My holiness undoes them all by asserting the truth about me. In the presence of my holiness, which I share with God himself, all idols vanish.
Thank you, Laurie.
My holiness is my salvation. Since my holiness saves me from all guilt, recognizing my holiness is recognizing my salvation. It is also recognizing the salvation of the world. Once I have accepted my holiness, nothing can make me afraid. Once I have accepted my holiness, nothing can make me afraid. And because I am unafraid, everyone must share in my understanding, which is the gift of God to me and to the world. I am blessed as a son of God. Herein lies my claim to all good and only good. I am blessed as a son of God. All things are mine because God intended them for me. I cannot suffer any loss or deprivation or pain because of who I am. My Father supports me, protects me, and directs me in all things. His care for me is infinite and is with me forever. I am eternally blessed as his son. God goes with me wherever I go. How can I be alone when God always goes with me? How can I
Stop.
be?
Connect to what you're reading. Close your eyes for a second. Take a few deep breaths. What is the passion of the Christ in you? Where is your service to your father, to your brothers? Because we're here learning the path of servitude. We're learning our truth, which is a single line that we walk. You have to feel it. It's not comfortable. It's not easy, but it's the way. And it's filled with passion. It's filled with determination. And you hear it. Connect with the Holy Spirit within you. Ask, help me to even read these lessons. Take a breath and then read.
God goes with me wherever I go. How can I be alone when God always goes with me? How can I be doubtful and unsure of myself when perfect certainty abides in him?
How can I be doubtful and unsure of myself? How can I be doubtful and unsure of myself? How? That's a question. How can I be doubtful and unsure of myself when God goes with me everywhere I go? When I read these lessons, when I pick up this book and I read it, this is Jesus talking to me directly. He's saying to me, Dave, how can you be doubtful and unsure of yourself when God goes with you everywhere you go? He's holding me to account. He's my true brother. He's the one person in the universe that will do that for me. He's asking me that question. He's not saying, you are loved and you are beautiful and you are wonderful. Don't worry about anything. He's saying, how can you be doubtful and unsure of yourself when God goes with you everywhere you go? That's my brother, Jesus. It's personal, and I have to take it personal. I'm not reading these lessons in a group. I'm not reading this book for the benefit of somebody else. I'm reading this book for my own benefit, and it hits me right in the heart. It makes me squirm. It holds me to an accountability that has no place in this world. It comes from beyond. And I feel it. I feel it. That's Jesus talking to me. He's like giving me the coach talk, you know, when you ever see the Bad News Bears? And it's like the coach has to get in there and do that coach talk right at the end and bring the whole team together to score the thing, the try. That's Jesus. He's like, come on, how can you be doubtful and unsure of yourself? God goes with you everywhere you go. If I'm reading those words and I'm not in a direct dialogue with Jesus in those words, I'm not really reading the words. My brother is there in those words, the message through those words, asking me, how can you be doubtful and unsure of yourself? What is this? We've got a game to win here. He's putting me on the spot. Anna hears it. She's developing her hearing. It's a beautiful thing. It's totally beautiful. Jesus is totally personal in that one line, that one sentence. Jesus is like, how can you be doubtful and unsure of yourself? Here, put your fingers in the holes. This is a relationship. We're rekindling a relationship with our Father. It has to be personal. It has to be passionate. This book, these words are the tools. They're prompts. They're little moments that we have where we feel something that has no basis in this world. How can I be doubtful and unsure of myself when God goes with me everywhere I go? Damn, what do I do with that? What do I do with that? I'm sure as hell going to let go of my doubt. I'm going to trust. I'm going to have faith. I'm going to put that into my reading. I'm going to put that into my study. I'm going to put that personal relationship with the Christ within me that my brother is reminding me of into every effort that I make in this, every effort. Knowing that it's going to lead me into a dark place. It's going to lead me into a place I don't want to look at, but for my own good. Because on the other side of that is liberty, paradise, no doubt, no uncertainty. It's like teaching a child to walk and you put your hands out and you say, come on, you can do it. And the child develops the faith and the courage and takes one step and then takes another step. That's what we are. We're like babies. But we've got to read this. We've got to put the heart and the soul. I was sitting this morning and laughing and crying and laughing and crying. I revisited yesterday in our meeting, I revisited a story about a cousin I had who passed, and there was still some emotionality wrapped up in that for me. And this morning I sat in that, in the belief of death, the belief of things coming and going, and transformed it in my mind. And it's funny, you never know where these little things are hiding, but they always get exposed in the willingness for them to be exposed. But man, it was passionate. It was totally passionate. We used to have all these things around the wall. Passion, determination, power. I never understood the power one really, but passion, determination, power, mind, love, forgiveness, all these big plaques that used to be in the meditation room. And I used to sit and dwell with them sometimes and try to feel what they meant in me, how they made me feel about them, just simple words. Because they were by far the qualities and the characteristics of mind that were required in the pursuit of this. You've got to give this everything. Even in the reading of these words, it's like they're personal. It's Jesus talking to me, every single word. I want you to read that again, Laurie. It's just you and Jesus. Try to get a sense of it. I know it sounds like I'm picking on you a bit, but try to get a sense of it. There's more in this for you than what you're getting out of it right now. I guarantee it. And I know you've had enough experiences of things now to trust me, at least with that for a second. Okay. There's more, always more. Take a breath and read your brother's words.
God goes with me wherever I go.
Yes.
How can I be alone when God always goes with me? How can I be doubtful and unsure of myself when perfect certainty abides in him?
Yes.
How can I be disturbed by anything when he rests in me in absolute peace? How can I suffer when love and joy surround me through him?
Yes.
Let me not cherish illusions about myself. I am perfect because God goes with me wherever I go.
You felt that, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. Thank
Good.
you. Do you want me to read another one?
You sure do. You're on fire right now.
God is my strength. Vision is his gift. Let me not look to my own eyes to see today. Let me be willing to exchange my pitiful illusion of seeing for the vision that is given by God. Christ's vision is his gift, and he has given it to me. He has given it to me. Let me call upon this gift today so that this day may help me to understand eternity.
Yes. It's really important to start the day off. It's like that old saying, begin something in the same spirit in which you intend to proceed. Don't start off in doubt. Don't start off in regret or whatever. It's like start your day properly. Give your day to God before your feet even hit the floor when you get out of bed. You got to sit there in that bed and you feel it. Here I am, Lord, another day. Guide me, show me, teach me. Everything. Like you have to give your heart and your soul to God every single day. It's not just a bunch of thoughts we read about. It's something we apply and we do. And it starts you off in the right direction every single day. Ted used to say, make your bed. Because making your bed was like symbolic of the determination that you were going to have to proceed in that day. It was just a little action that was symbolic of your devotion. I'm going to make my bed. And then we step forward and we carry on with our day. Anthea, read the next one. Hey, where are you? That's a new room. Are you at Gemma's?
No, I'm in the back bedroom.
Have you been?
So, where are we? Which
Have you
lesson?
been?
Pardon?
43.
Did you go to Gemma's?
No. No.
All right. Barry, read the next one. Some people are in this and some people that are not.
God is my source. I cannot see apart from him. I can see what God wants me to see. I cannot see anything else. Beyond his will lie only illusions. It is these that I choose when I think I can see apart from him. It is these I choose when I try to see through the body's eyes. Yet the vision of Christ has been given to me to replace them. And it is through this vision that I choose to see.
Good. I want you to read that again and slow it down. Read it introspectively. Not yet. Take a few deep breaths. Everything's okay, Barry. Everything's fine. Jesus can see you. He loves you. Where you're at. Slow it down and listen to yourself read the words.
God is my source.
Yes.
I cannot see apart from him. I can see what God wants me to see. I cannot see anything else. Beyond his will lie only illusions. It's these I choose when I think I can see apart from him. It is these I choose when I try to see through the body's eyes. Yet the vision of Christ has been given me to replace them. It is through this vision that I choose to see.
Good. Did you feel that?
Yeah.
There's a little analogy I have that, like, because you don't come to many meetings, I'll tell you, the other guys have heard it probably 100 times by now, but in this world, familiarity breeds contempt. In this world, familiarity breeds contempt. And we have memories of past and expectations of future, which is what it is that we're trying to transcend, trying to train ourselves to let go of. And so when we read these lessons, We tend to read them as if we're reading a magazine at an airport waiting for an aeroplane in a very superficial kind of manner. And it takes some understanding and some effort and some learning held dear in the heart to realize that every moment is brand new and that these lessons, I've never read them before because this is the only moment there is. And in that same spirit, we're learning to see everything, not just our reading, our doing and our being, this moment. So the idea that familiarity breeds contempt obviously comes from the past. I've read this book, I know what it says. I've read these lessons before in the last Zoom meeting. But it's not about the reading of the lessons. It's about what it is the lessons are getting you to focus on. And every effort within the course, every line in the course is getting you to focus on the same thing, not the past, not the future, but to bring everything into the now, into an eternal relationship, which is filled with passion, filled with peace, filled with joy and calm and happiness, that has nothing to do with the past or the future, has to do with a rising up, has to do with purpose. Purpose at last, true purpose. This meeting, this reading of the book, it's a devotion that you're giving to yourself. It's something out of busy, busy day that I want you to begin to see as sacred. It's your participation with something, with a mind training curriculum that is designed to help you transcend the limitations that you find yourself encumbered by. The body and all the doings of the body. And the only way forward is yes, wow, and thank you. In every situation, yes, wow, and thank you. In the recognition that there can be nothing asked of you at all that is not asked by God. It doesn't matter how it looks, how it's orchestrated, whether you think it's a joke, whether you think it's not possibly including you. It is. You have to take everything personally. Everything, every breath personally. Because it's life. And it's happening to you here and now. It's life. In this moment, it's what life is. Not the imagery, but how it makes you feel. Alive and joyous and powerful and connected. Peaceful, worthy, loved and loving. It's an incredible feeling. It's an incredible sense of things to feel connected to everything in a world that specifically is designed to make you feel disconnected. But you've got to push. You've got to reach out with your feelings and push and hold yourself accountable to your efforts. Because the only person that's judging you is you. And you're the only one by that judgment that can see where it is that you're at in this. And you know damn well whether you're giving it everything or whether you're being half-hearted. I don't have to tell you that. You know it for yourself. There's no point in being in it if you're half-hearted. There's no point in being in it if you don't have a yes in you for this. What is the point? This is your way. There is no other way. Here and now, this is how it looks for you. You can turn off the Zoom meeting. You can go and find another teacher, another book, another circle, all of these things. You're free to do whatever you want. But every place you go is going to tell you exactly the same thing because that's the level that you're at. That's the learning level that you're at. You can't jump ahead to where you're not at. You can't go back and dumb yourself down to who you used to be. You're hearing this now because this is the learning level that you're at. That's why you're hearing this. Anna, read the next one.
God is the light in which I see. I cannot see in darkness.
Right.
God is the only light. Or if I am to see, it must be through him.
Yes. Thank you.
I have tried to define what seeing is, and I have been wrong. Now it is given me to understand that God is the light in which I see.
Yes.
Let me welcome vision and the happy world it will show me. God is the mind with which I think. I have no thoughts I do not share with God. I have no thoughts apart from him because I have no mind apart from his.
Good.
As part of his mind, my thoughts are his, and his thoughts are mine.
Good. See how activated you are?
Yeah.
How cool is that? You used to be just like a dead thing sitting there going, meh, 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 reading the words, not really connecting. And now you're connecting. Now you're starting to hear. That's beautiful. Yeah.
Thank you, Father.
Ready? Golf clap. It's all you're getting, just a little golf clap. Oh, well done. Well done. Top hole. Tina, let's have it. You'll be like Tina soon, Anna. Just blubbing and laughing and whatever every time you read anything. She can't, you watch, she won't get through one of these without having a thing. Activated, self-activated. Got this, go for it. My salvation depends on you, Tina.
God is the love in which I forgive. God does not forgive because he has never condemned.
Yes.
The blameless cannot blame. And those who have accepted their innocence see no nothing to forgive. Yet, forgiveness is the means by which I will recognize my innocence. It is the reflection of God's love on earth. It will bring me near enough to heaven that the love of God can reach down to me and raise me up to Him.
Yes.
God is the strength in which I trust. It is not my own strength in which I forgive. It is through the strength of God in me, which I am remembering as I forgive. As I begin to see, I recognize His reflection on earth. I forgive all things because I feel the stirring of His strength in me. And I begin to remember the love I chose to forget, but which has not forgotten me.
Beautiful. Anthea, are you ready? Give it a crack. If you're not at least as emotionally distraught as Tina, you're going to be reading it for the rest of the day. It's like doing the, oh, you were here yesterday, 100 lines on the blackboard. Write it out 100 times. That was a good teaching. We should make that into a proper teaching. Yeah, there'll be a little picture of you doing throwing the chalk. Go, Anthea. Let's have it. Your microphone is muted.
There is nothing to fear.
Wow.
How safe the world will look to me when I can see it. It will not look anything like what I imagine I see now. Everyone and everything I see will lean toward me to bless me. I will recognize in everyone my dearest friend. What could there be to fear in a world that I have forgiven and that has forgiven me? God's voice speaks to me all through the day. There is not a moment in which God's voice ceases to call on my forgiveness to save me. There is not a moment in which his voice fails to direct my thoughts, guide my actions, and lead my feet. I am walking steadily on toward truth. There is nowhere else I can go, because God's voice is the only voice and the only guide that has been given to his Son.
Laurie, can you do the last one? Before you read it, you're going to read it from your angel place. I know you know what that means. I was just told. I should have told me that earlier, because now I understand that that makes more sense to you than anything else I've been saying. All
I am sustained by the love of God
right.
as I listen to God's voice. I am sustained by his love as I open my eyes. His love lights up the world for me to see. As I forgive, his love reminds me that his Son is sinless. And as I look upon the world with the vision he has given me, I remember that I am his son.
Yeah. Tell me about the angel place. I'm curious.
Well, I've had visitations by angels,
Right.
and I don't see them, but I feel them, and they bring the scent of the perfume of flowers, and it's usually like gardenias and things.
Yeah.
So sometimes when I'm preparing to come on for our sessions, I'll put on gardenia and jasmine and peacocky perfume to call the angels and to remind me that they're here with us now. They're always surrounding us. All I need is to do is call on them. I call on them every time I get in my car. So, yeah. Thank you for the reminder.
It was just given to me. I just heard a voice said, tell her to read it from the angel place.
Thank you.
I had a moment with an angel thing just recently, and I'm sitting in it and waiting for it to manifest, I guess. I don't know. I'm just, yeah. So anyway, that was interesting. That was cool.
Can I tell you one of the more powerful
Yeah,
stories
sure.
about that?
Yep.
Many years ago, when I was newly sober, I was driving
When you were
past
nearly, did you say nearly sober?
newly.
Oh, right. Yep.
I was newly sober. I was driving past an old drinking place, and suddenly I was struck with a terrible craving to drink. I could taste it, I could feel it. And I prayed, and my car was suddenly filled with this tangible scent of gardenias. And my desire to drink was completely lifted from me.
Nice.
And that was probably my first real known visitation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny how your senses get used for higher purpose, you know, like the Holy Spirit uses what you made to help you remember. It's like some of the links, like the mental links and the little mind switches that go on, you know, you smell flowers and you're reminded of angels, and gardenias are something. I mean, gardenias have the most beautiful perfume. Like it's just one of those really heady sort of, you know, like jasmine, and couldn't get more obvious than gardenias, really, could you?
Do you know, funnily enough, I've just planted a gardenia outside my front door.
Oh, it should do perfect in your climate. I have terrible trouble trying to get them to flower here because it's too hot. But, they do, but you have to plant them in shady places. Oh boy, oh boy. There's a lot going on. I've been laughing and crying all morning, like before the Zoom and everything, just in bed. There's a lot of light, a lot of light. Yesterday's meeting was a good one. I don't know what was in it specifically for me, that like the whole thing generally, but like there's an expose, there's an opening in everything. And you kind of walk into it, you know, you just say yes and you turn up, and then the next thing you know, boom. Something happens, and so this morning I've just been crying and laughing and crying and going through, not really crying, but cry laughing. I don't know if that's a word, but cry laughing, where you just sort of, oh, we've lost Anna and Tina. Oh. So Anthea, what happened?
What do you mean?
What happened? You didn't go visit Gemma?
No, it just didn't work out.
You didn't just get up and walk out your front door?
No. No, not to Gemma's.
And
I've been trying to do other adventurous stuff. I've been to the beach today.
you look a little sunburnt.
Yeah, I think I did. It's a bit
Body,
windy.
anywho.
I've just been trying to say yes to stuff. But I've had a really fucking terrible week.
Barry can relate to that.
In my own way, like, bad shit's happening around me.
Right.
On my doorstep.
Yep.
And I feel like people aren't nice. I feel like
Right.
people are horrible.
Right. What else do you feel like people?
Just I don't know. I just don't even want to be around most people. They're not very nice.
Right. You feel like people aren't nice, that they're horrible.
Yeah, I do. They just are. They're dishonest. They tell lies. They want me to tell lies, to not get them into trouble. And, I just feel torn, and, it's been dreadful. It still is dreadful. Yeah. I don't want to be here.
Right.
And it is, and it's very hard, you know, to not, I'm struggling, like, you know, it's very hard not to believe this illusion is real, because it, you know, that's all I seem to be seeing, you know, with glimpses of gardenia, you know, which I'm really grateful for, you know, just, but they're so tiny in comparison to what's in my face. So it does lead, you know, I am, you know, I'm living in fear still.
Why didn't you gemmas?
Oh, just, you know, I can make a million excuses, can't I? Because I didn't just leave my front door. But, you know, the tickets had sold out. It was going to cost a lot of money. She was working. You know, I had jobs, work on, you know, I'm self-employed. I had jobs on that the weekend she was going. You know, I've got adventures I want to do, and it didn't work out, you know, it didn't. So I'm trying not to feel like, you know, I've disobeyed you, or, you know, feeling a bit.
You didn't disobey anything. There was nothing to disobey. There was an opportunity that you missed. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah,
When
I did.
When I said to you, walk out your front door and don't look back, I meant it, literally.
Yeah, but something inside me stopping me from doing that. And I think it's bloody fear.
Right. Exactly. But that's where it's a leap of faith. Open your front door, go out and shut it behind you, and just keep going. You don't have to know how to get there, what's going to happen when you get there. You don't need to know anything. The whole point of a journey of faith, and I mean, you only live a few hours away, but the whole point of a journey of faith is like, I'm doing this like pilgrimage, if you like, as an act of faith. And you didn't say yes in faith, you said yes in fear.
I know, and that's where I'm going wrong. But it's hard to have faith, isn't it, sometimes?
No, it's not. You ready? Say yes.
I know, but I can't seem to stop the word but following the yes.
Right, exactly. Which is why in your case, I gave you a physical action to do, something that you actually had to do.
Yeah, and I didn't do it.
Because you didn't do it, because you can't trust yourself in your own mind to even begin to put into practice these simple principles. You do everything on your own terms, and you're looking for your own advantage and your own well-being in every situation, which is not what this is. And you read it in the 20-minute book just then.
I know.
And the obvious contrast between what Jesus is telling you, you don't have to worry because God goes with you everywhere, and you worrying because you don't think that Jesus is telling you the truth, right? Somewhere you need a leap of faith. Obviously, it's not happening in your thinking, so you're going to have to do it in the form. It's going to have to be an actual journey, an actual useless, pointless, meaningless journey to somewhere to do something that's out of your control and out of your comfort zone. Because you're not honest enough with yourself in your own mind to be able to do it there. And all those things that you see in other people are reflections of your own thinking that you don't want to look at in yourself, and you'll bundle yourself further into the back bedroom more and more and more, and so you don't have to look at the world. Don't have to look at the idea that you're responsible for your thinking, which manifests your experience. You're doing this to yourself, Anthea.
You know, I'm like, that makes me feel like I am in such a bad way. I'm literally in the back bedroom because I don't want anyone to come in.
Right, exactly. Look what you're doing. Look what you're doing. Somewhere you got to say, fuck it. Somewhere you got to find fuck it in there and just go, fuck it, I'm doing it. I don't give a fuck. You got to get really pissed at how shitty you are being with yourself, how poorly you're treating yourself, and like give yourself a break. Otherwise, the next thing you're going to be is in the nut house.
Yeah, I know. And, you know, I am like, I've been so anxious this week. I can't eat.
Right.
It's been a really bad, like, you know, one of the worst weeks I've ever had with anxiety.
That's both a good thing. That's both a good thing because you can see that you can do something with it, and not a good thing because you're not wanting to see that you can do something with it. You're literally participating in a rehab program and you're refusing to participate. You're sitting there on the chairs and it comes around to your turn to talk and you got nothing to say.
True.
Right. So get out of rehab and go get drunk a bit more until finally you actually really want to be in rehab. Stop kidding yourself. Either that or say yes, because it's not going to get any better for you doing what you're doing now.
No, but I'm stuck, Dave. I'm scared to leave this, you know, Course in Miracles because it is, you know, it's like, it feels like it's my only hope.
You're using it as a comfort zone. You're not even applying it, Anthea. You're not doing the work. And you can't even see that you're not doing the work. You've been in the same exact situation since this whole thing began, these Zoom meetings and everything began. So Anna's going through shift after shift after shift. Barry's suddenly having something happening for him. Laurie's got stuff going on, and you're going seemingly backwards. Even to the stage where symbolically you've put yourself in the back bedroom. There's no further back you can go. You'll be in the corner soon and wedged in the closet on your phone, terrified of even letting yourself out of the closet. Is that what you want?
Of course it isn't.
Yes, it is. Say yes. You have to admit to your insanity before you can see that that's not what you want. Every alcoholic in the world says, oh, I'm never drinking again. They don't mean it. They don't mean it until they're at AA doing lesson 1 or step 1. And they're there by their own free will, not because all their friends tell them they should go. They're there because they see they need to be there. You've just stumbled into a Course in Miracles probably a bit too early for where you're at. And I'm not telling you,
You're
I'm
saying
not telling you,
leave
I'm
and
not
give
telling
it.
you not to do it. I'm telling you that you should be more honest with yourself about where you find yourself. Make some decisions.
In a bad place.
Right. Now make some decisions. I tell you something and I give you an opportunity and you don't want it. So what are you doing here? I can't offer you something I don't have to give. This course can't help you in a way that you don't want it to help you. You're like a person who runs around, they've got their Bible and they feel safe because they hold it in their hands. You know, you've got to see that. I've been in that place. I used to have Lucky Charms. I'd wear it around my neck, Lucky Charms and crystals and things in my house. And I would tell myself, oh, I've got these things. I'm safe now. I'm good.
Well, I have got them and I still don't feel safe.
Of course not. They don't work. Nothing outside of yourself works. Only the love of God within you can work. But you've got to want that to be the truth for you. You've got to be able to say yes. And no matter how fearful you are, take that step. It's one single step. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Lao Tzu. You're sitting here on your couch looking at the idea of a journey, but you're not actually embarking upon the journey.
True.
Right. Now, you have to make a decision. Do I want to take that journey or not? Is this what I really want, or is it not what I really want? I'm not here to force you into doing a Course in Miracles. That's not my job description. I'm just here to present the reasonable nature of why you would want to. If you're done with the world, if you've looked out there and seen that it all ends in death, that every road leads to the same destination, then hey, Anthea, we got something that can help you find an alternative to that way of seeing.
Yeah.
You've got to want it. You've got to realize there's nothing in the world you want. You've got to come to that place where you just see that all roads lead to Rome. No one can force you to see it. You've got to see it yourself. Now, ready? I'll give you the tough love. As if this isn't the tough love already. I'll give you the tough love. First thing in the morning, have your shower and your breakfast, put on your clothes, walk out your front door and go to Anthea's. Go to Gemma's. That's it. And don't look back. Now, you're either going to do that or you're not going to do that. And you're going to, symbolically, you're going to look at that whole idea played out again and again and again through your life of an opportunity being given and you turning it down, an opportunity being given, you turning it down. Like it's such a setup. There's no room for a but. It's either yes or no. You're either in or you're out. And that's it. The how and the why and everything else, it's a matter of faith. Faith in every circumstance. Faith in the dark of the night. Faith when the demons are screaming the loudest. Faith. Right up until your very last breath, faith. That's all I've got. That's all I can offer you, faith. That's how I got this. That's how I found this. That's how I stumbled into it, fell into it, tripped over it, hit my head on it. And remembered my father. To you, it looks like a rock and a hard place. To me, it looks like an incredible, I can't even describe it. It's like that's it. Barry, do you like the Lord of the Rings? It's like the scene where Gandalf turns up at Frodo's door. Tells him he's going to go on an adventure. And the hobbits never leave the Shire. Or Bilbo Baggins, that was it. He had to face all his fears. He had to say yes. He had no choice, really. In the end, the wizard and the dwarves all left him behind because he wouldn't say yes. He wouldn't sign the agreement until finally when they left, he was left in the desperation and the despair of knowing that he'd turned down something that was going to be the most incredible thing that he'd ever participated in. And he chased after them as fast as his little legs could carry him. There's a moment, Anthea, in you where you're going to have a realization of what you're throwing away. It's not going to happen to you in the back bedroom. I'm just going to leave you with that. Tomorrow morning, have your shower and your breakfast and get dressed and walk out your front door. This is your life, Anthea. This is your life. You think it's supposed to look like something, and then along comes me and tells you something else. Everything that you thought it was supposed to look like before that now doesn't matter. Now you're at a junction in the road, you know, where it goes one way or the other way, and you either go yes, or you just keep going with the way you're going. I'm pretty sure that you can almost see that you don't want to keep going the way you're going. You just got to find that fuck it. Fuck it. Yes. Otherwise, nothing will change. You don't get salvation on your own terms. That's the bottom line. You don't get it on your own terms. When Jesus says, give up the world and follow me, you can't say but. There is no but. There's yes, Lord, or no, Lord. That's it. There's no gray. Be either hot or cold. Don't be lukewarm. There's no fence sitting. Give up the world and follow me. Yes, Lord, here I am. You show up, you're accountable, and your yes means absolute yes. It's like it's tough. It's a tough teaching. But the only thing that you've got in your corner is a 6-foot hole in a pine box. You've got to see that. Salvation, literally salvation from the dreaming, from the continuum is being offered to you. And it looks like this. What the hell did you think it was going to look like? A red carpet, people with fans like along the sides. No addict ever likes going to rehab. Never. Is that right, Laurie? Right. Rehab is nothing but tough love. It is tough love. There's no one that takes your shit, no one that gives you any wiggle room. Because if they take your shit and they give you wiggle room, if they compromise, they're letting you down. They didn't get sober and they didn't get off the crack without somebody in their face who refused to compromise for their own best interests. Their sponsor, their mentor, their guide, their caseworker, whatever that may be. You're at that place. And there's no one in this room who's going to compromise. We've all been in the same place you're at now. We've all been in exactly the same place. I was turned away from the healing center when I first went there because I wasn't going on their terms. I was turned away, and I knew it was the only thing that I had going that was going to get me out of the space I was in. I was only going on the weekends, and then during the week I was taking drugs and drinking. And on the weekends I would turn up. And then Greta stood in the doorway one day waiting for me to turn up. This big Dutch woman. And she said, "You're not coming in today." I don't do a very good Dutch thing. She goes, "You turn up here as we ask you or not at all." That was it. But she wasn't going to let me down, and she wasn't going to let down all the others that were in there doing their work. You're the same. This is tough love, and I'm not going to let you off the hook. Day one, step one. And you know what? I'm so grateful to Greta. So grateful. My heart is full of gratitude for her, for not compromising her integrity and her principles and the integrity of the center for me. I'm so grateful because it forced me to take a long, hard look at myself and to make some hard decisions. But I made them. And I turned up. I went to every meeting. I went to AA. I did 90 meetings in 90 days. And then every Sunday after that, I went to every lecture and every class, 6 days a week, morning and night. For 6 years to get my head straight from the drug fuck life that I'd had, taking hallucinogenics, amphetamines, pretty much anything I could get my hands on, drinking myself into a stupor before lunch almost every day. It took for that Dutch woman to make me really take a look at myself and make the decision that I needed to make. I don't want to hear your stories. I don't want to hear your buts. None of us do. We want to hear your laughter and your joy. So tomorrow morning, I don't care what excuse pops into your head. I don't care what reason, what but. It doesn't matter. It's a leap of faith. You either take it or you don't. And you can hate me for that, or you can whatever. I don't care. Sometimes the tough love is the only way. If I hadn't been in that place where you're at now, there'd be no way I could offer this to you. But because I have been, I am.
Thank you.
That's a start. Thank you, Father. All right, let's read something on that. Lesson 153. You don't need your book. I'll read it. Just listen. In my defenselessness, my safety lies. That's pretty cool. I just picked it up. You who feel threatened by this changing world, its twists of fortune and its bitter jests, its brief relationships and all the gifts it merely lends to take away again, attend this lesson well. The world provides no safety. It is rooted in attack, and all its gifts of seeming safety are illusory deceptions. It attacks and then attacks again. No peace of mind is possible where danger threatens thus. The world gives rise but to defensiveness. For threat brings anger, anger makes attack seem reasonable, honestly provoked and righteous in the name of self-defense. Yet is defensiveness a double threat, for it attests to weakness and sets up a system of defense that cannot work. Now are the weak still further undermined, for there is treachery without and still a greater treachery within. The mind is now confused and knows not where to turn to find escape from its imaginings. It is as if a circle held it fast, wherein another circle bound it, and another in that one, until escape no longer can be hoped for nor obtained. Attack, defense, defense, attack becomes the circles of the hours and the days that bind the mind in heavy bands of steel with iron overlaid, returning but to start again. There seems to be no break nor ending in the ever-tightening grip of imprisonment upon the mind. Defenses are the costliest of all the prices which the ego would exact. In them lies madness in a form so grim that hope of sanity seems but to be an idle dream beyond the possible. The sense of threat the world encourages is so much deeper and so far beyond the frenzy and intensity of which you can conceive that you have no idea of all the devastation it has wrought. You are its slave. You know not what you do in fear of it. You do not understand how much you have been made to sacrifice who feel its iron grip upon your heart. You do not realize what you have done to sabotage the holy peace of God by your defensiveness. For you behold the Son of God as but a victim to attack by fantasies, by dreams, and by illusions he has made, yet helpless in their presence, needful only of defense by still more fantasies and dreams, which illusions of his safety comfort him. Defenselessness is strength, Anthea. It says that in my book. It's got your name. Defenselessness is strength. It testifies to recognition of the Christ in you. Perhaps you will recall the Course maintains that choice is always made between his strength and your own weakness seen apart from him. Defenselessness can never be attacked because it recognizes strength so great. Attack is folly or a silly game a tired child might play when he becomes too sleepy to remember what he wants. Defensiveness is weakness. It proclaims you have denied the Christ and come to fear his Father's anger. What can save you now from your delusion of an angry God, whose fearful image you believe you see at work in all the evils of the world, Anthea? What but illusions could defend you now, when it is but illusions which you fight? We will not play such childish games today, for our true purpose is to save the world, and we would not exchange for foolishness the endless joy our function offers us. We would not let our happiness slip by because a senseless fragment of a dream happened to cross our minds and we mistook the figures in it for the Son of God, its tiny instant for eternity. We look past dreams today and recognize that we need no defense because we are created unassailable, without all thought or wish or dream in which attack has any meaning. Now we cannot fear, for we have left all fearful thoughts behind. And in defenselessness, we stand secure, serenely certain of our safety now, sure of salvation, sure we will fulfill our chosen purpose as our ministry extends its holy blessing throughout the world. Be still a moment, and in silence, think how holy is your purpose, how secure you rest, untouchable within its light. God's ministers have chosen that the truth be with them. Who is holier than they? Who could be surer that his happiness is fully guaranteed, and who could be more mightily protected? What defense could possibly be needed by the ones who are among the chosen ones of God, by his election and their own as well? It is the function of God's ministers to help their brothers choose as they have done, Anthea. God has elected all, but few have come to realize his will is but their own. And while you fail to teach what you have learned, salvation waits and darkness holds the world in grim imprisonment. Nor will you learn that the light has come to you and your escape has been accomplished. For you will not see the light until you offer it to all your brothers. As they take it from your hands, so will you recognize it as your own. Salvation can be thought of as a game that happy children play. It was designed by one who loves his children and who would replace their fearful toys with joyous games which teach them that the game of fear is gone. His game instructs in happiness because there is no loser. Everyone who plays must win, and in his winning is the gain to everyone ensured. The game of fear is gladly laid aside when children come to see the benefits salvation brings. You who have played that you are lost to hope, abandoned by your father, left alone in terror in a fearful world made by sin and guilt, be happy now. That game is over, Anthea. Now a quiet time has come in which we put away the toys of guilt and lock our quaint and childish thoughts of sin forever from the pure and holy minds of heaven's children and the Son of God. We pause but for a moment more to play our final happy game upon this earth. And then we go to take our rightful place where truth abides and games are meaningless. So is the story ended. Let this day bring the last chapter closer to the world, that everyone may learn the tales he reads of terrifying destiny, defeat of all his hopes, his pitiful defense against a vengeance he cannot escape, was but his own deluded fantasy. God's ministers have come to waken him from the dark dreams this story has evoked in his confused, bewildered memory of this distorted tale. God's Son can smile at last on learning that it is not true. Today we practice, Anthea, in a form we will maintain for quite a while. We will begin each day by giving our attention to the daily thought as long as possible. 5 minutes now becomes the least we give to preparation for a day in which salvation is the only goal we have. 10 would be better, 15 better still. And as distraction ceases to arise to turn us from our purpose, we will find that half an hour is too short a time to spend with God. Nor will we willingly give less at night in gratitude and joy. Each hour adds to our increasing peace as we remember to be faithful to the will we share with God. At times, perhaps a minute, even less, will be the most that we can offer as the hour strikes. Sometimes we will forget. At other times, the business of the world will close on us and we will be unable to withdraw a little while and turn our thoughts to God. Yet when we can, we will observe our trust as ministers of God in hourly remembrance of our mission and his love. And we will sit by quietly and wait on him and listen to his voice and learn what he would have us do the hour that is yet to come, while thanking him for all the gifts he gave us in the one gone by. In time, with practice, you will never cease to think of him and hear his loving voice guiding your footsteps into quiet ways where you will walk in true defenselessness. For you will know that heaven goes with you, nor would you keep your mind away from him a moment, even though your time is spent in offering salvation to the world. Think you he will not make this possible for you who chose to carry out his plan for the salvation of the world and yours? Today, our theme is defenselessness. We clothe ourselves in it as we prepare to meet the day. We rise up strong in Christ and let our weakness disappear as we remember that his strength abides in us. We will remind ourselves that he remains beside us throughout the day and never leaves our weakness unsupported by his strength. We call upon his strength each time we feel the threat of our defenses undermine our certainty of purpose. We will pause a moment as he tells us, I am here. Your practicing will now begin to take the earnestness of love to help you keep your mind from wandering from its intent. Be not afraid or timid. There can be no doubt that you will reach your final goal. The ministers of God can never fail because the love and strength and peace that shine from them to all their brothers come from him. These are his gifts to you. Defenselessness is all you need to give him in return. You lay aside but what was never real to look on Christ and see his sinlessness. Everything in that book, whenever I read it, everything in it not only makes perfect sense to me, but is actually my experience of it. Everything Jesus says will happen has happened. Everything he tells me about myself is true. I know his words to be the truth in me and of me. I know myself as a son of God. But I also know there was a time when I sat in the corner fearful of the world, too afraid to go out, too afraid to face the day without a drink, without a joint. There was a time when I was absolutely paralyzed by fear. But not anymore. There's no fear in me and none in you. And whether you know that about yourself yet or not, it doesn't really matter. Because the realization of it dawns with a single decision to be defenseless. And in that defenselessness, you'll see what I'm talking about. In that defenselessness, you'll experience it for yourself. Because learning is through experience. Oh, I've got a little wallaby just sitting there. See if I can turn my thing around. You can see him. He's so cute, little baby one. I don't know if you can see him. He's on the edge of the grass there, near the white post, to the right of the white post, on the left of the right post. Here he comes. Can you see him? There he is. What a cutie. Anyway, I know you guys don't have wallabies in England or America.
Funny
Every
enough,
book every word in that book is a living word in me. And it continues to live and it continues to grow and it continues to, you know. I know you can feel it. When we read this book together, when we read the 20-minute book, and it puts us on the spot, as it did with me, as it holds me accountable to my own thinking, It's presenting me with a choice again and again and again. God's strength or my weakness, God's strength or my weakness. And it presents that choice in my own life in a very personal way that I can relate to, that I can see, that I can tangibly interact with. That choice for God's strength or my own weakness again and again and again. But through my defenselessness, my safety lies, and I come to learn of God's strength through my defenselessness. Defenselessness. Rented lips. Any questions? No, everybody's good. You good, Anthea? Yeah. Yeah. I can feel it in your heart now. You've just been looking for an excuse to say, fuck it. All right. Well, we'll just do a short one today. I don't have anything else unless you guys have got something. Laurie, you got anything?
Oh, it can wait. It's just I had another one of those amazing dreams yesterday, but I can talk about it another time. It's not going to. Yeah, or not.
You can talk about it now. Go on. Let's have it.
Oh,
What door
okay.
it'll open?
Pardon?
You never know what door it'll open.
Oh, okay. Well, it was very symbolic. And last Saturday I wasn't here because I was at a family reunion. We hadn't gotten together for several years because of the pandemic and circumstances. And we were reminiscing about how when the family used to all get together and we had a cabin on a bay and we'd all go catching crab, and how we'd always take them back and boil them up, and then we'd sit around and crack the crab, and it was a time of gathering and family. And
not for the crabs.
Not that is the point, because I remember getting these huge pots of water boiling and then dropping the live crabs in and hearing them scratch trying to get out because they were still alive and they were being boiled to death, and how it disturbed me as a kid, but I was taught, oh, it'll only be over in a few minutes and they don't really feel anything, and that whole rationale.
Yeah.
So I've been doing my lessons and starting to realize, even on a deeper level, how my desire to awaken from the ego dream is not just for myself, that it is for all of creation. It is for every brother, that every grain of sand. I get it. I mean, everybody goes with me. So in the dream, I'm with this large, muscular man. I don't know who he was, but he had a lot of influence over this group of people we were with. And we had all these crab around us. And he goes, okay, Lori, grab a crab. And I reached down to grab one and he goes, oh, you're not grabbing it right. And I said, look, I've been doing this all my whole life. I know how to grab a crab. So I reached down and we're getting ready to take these crabs to the big boiling pot. And I reach down and I pick it up and I look at it, and the crab turns into this small black and white dog that I had to do something that I thought I was doing to the crab to like tie the legs together or something. I don't know. We never did that. So here's this small little dog, this black and white dog, whose hind legs are tied in a knot that I have done. And it's terrified and in pain because it knows it's going into the boiling pot. And I look at horror with this, and I look at the guy, and he goes, "Oh, it's okay. We just had a whole bunch of stray dogs, and they taste just like crab. So go ahead and drop it in the pot." And I'm going, I can't do that. And he said, "Well, yes, you can. It's just a dog. It's no different than a crab." And I went, oh my God, I cannot cause harm to this innocent little creature. And it was like this voice was still like, "Oh, come on, do it. Don't, you know." And I thought, no, I can't. I just felt this total love and compassion. And it was like Jesus was saying, "Lori, this dog represents my entire creation. This dog represents you. This is you you're looking at. This is every brother in the universe you're looking at. You're feeling the pain that has happened from this separation." And I realized this morning the dog was black and white. That's duality. It represented the whole ego thing of duality that I was looking at, and how I have in my vision bound every single thing in what I have seen in reality in bondage. And I felt that pain, and I just started weeping. And I thought, God, I don't want to be like this anymore. Show me a better way.
Yep. Thank you.
Yeah.
Glad you told that dream.
Well, and when you read that lesson, for Anthea and for us, I was thinking, oh man, this is just like my dream.
Yep. When you start to see it, it's really just all the same thing. It's all the same. The duality, like, doesn't matter what part of it you're looking at, it's all the same.
I can't keep those blinders on anymore. I can't keep the blinders on, and I can't justify what I'm doing. Yeah,
it's funny, that dream about the little dog and tying its back legs. It brought up a memory when I was a little boy, maybe about 8 or 9. You know when little boys are horrible? We had a little Basenji dog. It was only a little dog like that. And I did tie its back legs together with string, and I tried to flush it down the toilet. I couldn't get it down the toilet because its legs were kicking. So I tied the legs together, and my mother caught me because the dog was yelping and whatever. I was a horrible kid, right? Tortured on the inside, tortured on the outside. And I got the whooping of my life. Like, I was in my room till my dad got home, and I got whooped it out of me. But I couldn't tell you why I tied that dog's legs together or why I tried to flush it down the toilet. But you ask any 8-year-old boy why they do anything, and it's just like, I don't know. But, we used to do some horrible things. Animals you didn't see animals, like I can totally relate to the crabs. It's like I have friends that go fishing all the time, and they post their pictures of their catch, all these fish on their tarpaulin on the lawn, and there's like 50 fish for a 4-person family. They're going to put them all in the freezer, and I'm like, those fish are part of a thing, like, I know it's an emotional response, but you get the idea of it. I remember one of Greta's teachings was when you walk along the beach and you pick up a rock, and underneath there's little microorganisms and tiny little creatures and whatever, and you're disturbing their whole universe. You're destroying their whole universe. And in her teaching, I realized that my footprint upon the earth is a direct relationship of my feelings and my attitude about myself, really. Like, I don't want to be destructive and harmful and take things for granted as if it's my right to, kill animals or destroy ecosystems or anything like that. I mean, you look at the nature of mind as, the human mind, not even the transforming mind, the human mind. You know, massive industrialization, putting pollution into the atmosphere, the whole ecosystem and everything. It's like completely uncaring about the footprint, you know. And I realized in her teaching of that day with the little creatures on the beach, it's like Christ's footprint leaves no mark on the earth. Christ's footprint leaves no mark on the earth, right? There's a thing in it where it never really happened. And everything that goes along with that undoes all my beliefs of things that hurt and things that are pain and things that destroy and things that carry fear. It undoes the whole lot, so that I become, in a sense, like that lesson said, in the world but not of it. I'm here for a little bit in my last thing with my final purpose, you know, and my final purpose is to see it all as holy. And so those dreams we have and things that we have that come along, they're always prompts that go deeper, that go further. They're prompts that show us something like you saw it, and beautiful how you saw it, you know, as the duality. And it's like, it's all that. It's all that. It's the call to be helpful and the call to be harmless. It's like the Hippocratic Oath of doctors is supposed to be do no harm, you know. It's like that could easily be applied to salvation. Do no harm, be helpful. And sometimes it looks like a bit of tough love. Hey, Anthea. She's laughing now. I love you. Don't forget that. When you walk out your front door tomorrow, don't forget I love you. Oh, she turned me off.
I didn't mean to turn you off. Sorry. My daughter's just got home. She's been working at a wedding and she's just come through saying, I've met my soulmate. So
there you go. Beautiful.
That's put a smile on my face.
Good. Another teaching, learning relationship about to set sail. Well, Anthea, if you've got a copy of The Hobbit, or if you can look it up on Netflix or MyFlixer or something, I suggest that you spend the rest of your evening dutifully examining the mental actions of Bilbo Baggins, which will help you no end in your...
Yeah, I this has come up before, Dave, where...
Has it? It has, actually. I remember now. It has come up before. Did you watch The Hobbit?
I looked at the clip where, you know, he tells Bilbo he's going on an adventure.
Right. That's enough then. That'll do. Anthea, all good?
Yeah.
Barry, all good? Laurie, good? No, I don't even have to ask you. Look at that. Good. Oh, Anthea, Anna's off to Tina's place. I gave her an assignment too. She said yes. So she said yes. So next Sunday, I'll expect to see you guys in different locations, wherever it is and however it looks, whether it comes to fruition or whether it all falls apart. Either way is perfectly beautiful. Remember, it's a leap of faith. Don't defend yourself. Don't try to decide how it ought to look. Don't decide that you know anything about it. Just go completely open, like a little child born into the world brand new. And they wander around and they're like, wow, they're just looking at everything, right? So yes, take that step. Adios, amigos. Journey of faith. You're allowed to take your course book with you. That's it. All right. Until next we meet, parting such sweet sorrow.
Bye.
See you all.